Vande Devam Umapatim Suragurum Vande Jagat Karanam Vande Pannagabhushanam Mrigadharam Vande Pashunam Patim Vande Surya Shashanka Vanhi Nayanam Vande Mukunda Priyam Vande Bhakta Janashrayam Cha Varadam Vande Shivam Shankaram Vande Bhakta Janashrayam Cha Varadam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Let's begin with the Dakshinamurti-Srotram, verse number 3. I request one of our people to send the Dakshinamurti-Srotram copy to Annapurni, please.
I'll do that, Ammaji.
So, verse number 3. Yasyaiva sphuranam sadatmakam kalparthakam bhasate sakshat tattvamasiti vedavachasa yo bodhayatyashritan Yas sakshat karanat bhavena punaravrittir bhavambo nidhau tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Sri-daksinamurti-Srotram. We have seen up to here Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Sri-daksinamurti-Srotram. Namaha, my namaskara to Lord Dakshinamurti, who is my original Guru. And with this refrain that comes in every verse, we have been given portion-wise little bit of the where this is going to lead to is to recognizing that all that is here is the infinite. And so in verse number 3 we saw a beautiful unfoldment of knowing that there is no experience in this world of objects, in this world that we experience through 5 sense perceptions, that there is no experience possible without this underlying factor called Sat, existence. There is nothing that you ever can cognize minus that thing being existent, being there. And so we have pot is, cloth is, tree is, curtain is, star is, moon is, you go as galaxy is, wherever you want to, whatever you want to experience, anything, any specific experience, it always is. And therefore, Sat Rupena, like Asti, 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 is. And in every experience, you have 2 elements. One is the is element, the other is the name and form element, right? And so we said the pot is, cloth is, watch is. While the name and form aspect keeps changing, keeps getting replaced, the name and form aspect is replaceable, changing. There is an unchanging, unqualified component, and that is the unqualified existence. This is joins itself to various objects, so to speak. And in our Advaita Vedantic metaphysics, we ask a question. Between these two things, two frames, one is and the other is a name and form frame. Between these two frames, which one is dependent on what? Is the name and form dependent on the existence, or is the existence dependent on name and form? How do you arrive at the truth of anything? The truth of anything is arrived at by moving into its cause. The truth of anything is arrived at by moving into its cause. And when you try to explore the cause of that pot or that table, then you find that every cause is the effect of its cause, which is the effect of its cause, which is the effect of its cause, and therefore the cause in the relative world keeps changing, and in and through all the changes, what remains the same is. The isness remains the same. And therefore when the pot is gone, the clay is. When the clay is gone, the particle is. When the particle is gone, the atom is. Atom is gone like this, the subatomic particle is. And so each cause becomes the effect of another cause, which is the effect of another cause, and therefore there is a changing element in the world of objects, and there is a consistent element called satta or existence, the unqualified existence. So the next question we had asked was, this existence, is it dependent on the form or is it an independent reality? Is the form dependent on existence or is existence dependent on form for it to be? And we saw a form has arrived and it leaves, but existence continues to be. And so existence is an independent reality. Name and form is the changing reality, and therefore that which is independent, swatantraha, is called satyam. That which is changing is called mithya. The changeless and the changing are the two components to truth of our experiences. And so now the question came, if existence does not belong to name and form, because it goes away and another name and form comes, then where is this existence? What is the truth of this existence? With reference to the world of objects, this is borrowed existence. But with reference to existence itself, where did it come from? Where did this existence come from? If you ask, if you keep asking, then existence itself will become the effect of its cause. Existence is an uncaused cause. Sat, sat, sat iti. Sat is an unqualified, uncaused cause. But, where does it emerge from? How does it lend itself to the objects? How does it, where do you find it? We always want to find something and hold it tight, you know. And if you have such a challenge, then the next verse will be very, very helpful to you to know where to find this Sat. He already indicated in the verse number 3, where he said, Sakshat Tattvamasi Veda Vachasa Yo Bodhayatya Shritan Tattvamasi. You want to know where the Sat is coming from? You will say, yeah, it comes from the infinite being, the divine being. He says, Veda Vachasa, the words of the Veda reveal, you know something? That divine being is Tvam. The divine being from whom the existence lends itself to the world of objects. Where is it? It is not Tat. That Tat, that is Tvam, you. So, Sakshat Tattvamasi. And how can that unqualified existence be I is unfolded in the 4th verse, and let us see. Nana chhidra ghatodara sthita maha deepa prabhabhaswaram. Nana chhidra ghatodara sthita maha deepa prabhabhaswaram. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dvara bahispandate. Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dvara bahispandate. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhatyetat samastam jagat. Janamiti tameva bhantam anubhatyetat samastam jagat. Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri-daksinamurti-Srotram. Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Sri-daksinamurti. So we will, if any of you are interested to be properly taught this Dakshinamurti-Srotram word by word, verse by verse, separately on a live class, we will look into that. I will continue to record and send you this weekend. I will be doing more recording. But in addition, towards the end, if you would like to be able to learn, I'm sure we can organize a chanting session for you. Okay, a separate session. Now, here, one fundamental concept in Advaita Vedanta we must really look into. Very, very, very important concept. And unless we grasp that concept, the implications of it will not be understood. And that concept is that to say that anything is existent, okay, to say that anything is existent, it presupposes knowledge of that object. It presupposes knowledge of that object. And so in Sanskritam it's very beautiful. Jnana dhina jneya siddhihi. anything which is jneyam, to be known, anything to be established as an object, jneyam, it is dependent on jnanam. It is dependent on knowing. Knowing means you need a knower to say this object is, that object is, this is not, this is. So only a cognizer can cognize the existence of an object. This is a very important fundamental concept that we must be aware of. Every object, to say that it is, it requires a cognizer. It presupposes knowledge of that thing. Then the next point will come automatically. If every object is associated with knowledge, then next question arises. Does this knowledge of that object belong to the object, or it belongs to the cognizer of the object? It is an automatic fallout of this. Does if the object is associated with knowledge, we know now that it's associated with Sat, existence. If it is associated with knowledge, does that knowledge belong to the object, or does it belong to something other than the object? Any object is inert. Advaita Vedanta spares, turns, doesn't leave anything unturned to declare that once you say object, it is jadam, it is inert. It is changing, it is subject to time and place. It is changing, it is jadam. And if it is jadam, jadam means inert, how can it have knowledge connected into it? The pot does not have a knowledge, I am a pot. The chair does not have a knowledge, hey, I am a chair, I am carrying such a heavy weight on me. Chair has no knowledge, it is inert. And therefore, where is this knowledge coming from? If it's not coming from the object, where is it coming from that this object is? It's coming from not the object, and what else is left? It's coming from the subject. It's coming from the subject. It's coming from the cognizer. And therefore, who is this cognizer? This cognizer is Chaitanyam, is a conscious being. This conscious being has this knowledge of the object. And so, looking at this world of objects, Advaita Vedanta makes a very big declaration, and you know what that is? You want to know who is the cognizer of objects? That cognizer is Chetanam, conscious, a conscious being who says, I. The pot cannot say I. Chair cannot say I. Why? They are inert. And therefore the one who says, I am, I become the cognizer of all that is. And this I am, in this world, if there is a I am, what is this I am? What is the nature of this I am? The tradition, Veda declares this I am is Jnana Swarupam. When you say I, you are nothing but consciousness, awareness. You are that awareful being in general. unqualified awareness. This awarer becomes aware of a specific object. And therefore, how the object borrowed existence, that existence that it borrowed, it is also borrowing knowledge, pot knowledge, cloth knowledge, table knowledge. All knowledge is a borrowed knowledge. From where? From the I. I is the cognizer, I is the Sat. And therefore, I am Sat and I am Chit. I am the one who cognizes this world. I am Sat and I am Chit. I am both. And so here, if you are both, what does this mean? What is the I am Sat, I am Chit means what? Okay, I am a cognizer. But when I am seeing the world, are there other eyes also? Not this eye. Are there not other I, this I, I? You see this eye? The big eye, vertical eye with top and bottom sticks. So this eye, everybody has an eye. So how many cognizers are there in this world? You may think as many objects are there, that many cognizers are there. And here is where comes the master equation, unraveling a great, unbelievable truth, an amazing truth, a great secret of this universe. And what is that? Don't think there are so many so many eyes. There is only one I. All that is there is one consciousness, one existence, Ekam Sat, Ekam, one Sat. And that one Sat is the existence and consciousness behind the world of names and forms. Behind the world of names and forms. How can you say that? How can you say if I am one who is a knowledge, all knowledge, but I don't know everything all the time? Ammaji, you know how hard I work to study Sanskritam? That's because I have ignorance also. How can you say I am all knowledge, all jnanam? I am also ignorance. Well, we are not talking about specific knowledge. We are not talking about specific because I know Sanskritam and I also know that I don't know Sanskritam. Is it not? I am aware of my knowledge and my ignorance. I am that basic awareness who is aware of knowledge and ignorance both. We are talking about that I, which is behind all knowledge and all ignorance. And so it is a nirvikara chaitanyam. It is a consciousness which is non-specific. I is a consciousness which is non-specific. And why non-specific? Because for knowledge to become specific, you require the mind, you require a thought. You cannot think of a pot without a thought. You cannot perceive a name and form without its relevant thought form. It's called vritti jnanam. It is called vritti jnanam. Please turn off your audios. It is called vritti jnanam. Any knowledge is vritti jnanam. Any specific knowledge is called vritti jnanam. Understand? It requires a thought. Whereas I am awareness is a self-evident, self-effulgent knowledge pleased to say, I am. That you are. Is this not a fact? Whether you recognize it through your thought or not, I am. Are you or are you not? Ammaji, I'll think about it and just check with my neighbor and get back to you. Is it? Are you going to have to scratch your head? Are you or are you not? I am is self-evident. You don't have to wear your glasses and check if you are. You don't need the glasses, you don't need anything. You simply are. And therefore, I am is self-effulgent, self-evident. I, and wherever there is I, any awareness of I is an awareness which is a common awareness that is self-effulgent, self-evident. So he says in this next verse, very, very beautifully he explains and says, look, visualize a pot. There is no Advaita Vedanta without pot, okay? Pot and snake will come invariably. Don't say, Ammaji, be a little creative, think of other examples. I'm sorry, this is how my guru taught me. He was a very creative master, but he always came back to pot and rope, okay? Rope and snake. Pot and clay and rope and snake. And so these are classical examples. We don't move away from these. We may add on, but to explain the core, we come back to the pot. And what is this pot? He says, Nana chidra ghato darasthita maha deepa prabha bhaswaram. So, deepa prabha bhaswaram jnanam. So, there is this pot which has holes, okay? Let us say 5 holes. And in this, where are these, what else is there in this pot? In the stomach of the pot, imagine this pot is turned upside down, and the stomach of the pot, inside the stomach, so ghata uddara, ghatasya uddara is stomach. So inside the stomach of the pot, sthitam is sitting, what? Mahadeepa, a great lamp. So, Prabha Bhaswaram, which has a brilliant flame. There is a pot with this brilliant flame inside it. And he says, you know what? How this pot with these holes, it is like the body with we also have holes. Pot is made up of a clay. What else is this made up of? All these minerals of the earth, is it not? And so it has holes like the pot. We also have holes. Not only the physical pot, there is also a subtle body, physical body, in which sits the subtle body. And this subtle body is also, you can call it a ghata, a pot. It has 5 holes. And what are these holes? The 5 sense organs. The 5 sense organs, the organ of hearing, the organs of smelling, the organ of tasting, the organ of touch, and the organ of sight. The 5th organ is all over the body. You don't call it an organ, that's your problem, but this is another organ. It's a very important organ in spiritual life, please understand. It's an organ that makes you feel the soul, because you can't see the soul. It's a different, this organ of touch makes you aware of, it's amazing. Let's not go into that. So here we're looking at 5 organs. The subtle body has 5 organs, sense organs. And what does it do? So, Jnanam yasya tu chakshuradikarana dwara bahispandate. So this flame, imagine this flame, if you close all the holes in the pot, will any light go out? No. The world, even if there is world of objects, it will be in darkness, you will never see anything. It is only when this light is allowed to go out, what happens? The objects which fall in the path of this light is lit up, is it not? An object which is not in the path of this light is not lit up. So you see in Deepavali, you put this pot with the holes and a lamp inside, and only the objects which fall in its range, it lights up. And what does it light up? It goes out of the pot and lights up the external. This beautiful verse tells us, this is exactly called the world of internal and external. The knowledge, Sat and Chit, is who you are, the self-existent, self-evident, self-effulgent being. And from within you emerges what? These 5 sense organs. Each sense organ lighting up a world that falls in its path. So in the path of this whole is what? The world of sounds. In the path of these whole is the world of smell. In the path of this too is the world of form. In the path of this whole is the world of taste. And in the path of the sense of touch is the world of feel, touch. What else is your world? You have a 6th sense. If you do, very good, we'll talk about that in a different topic, okay? But common human beings have minimum 5 senses. And through these 5 holes, you cognize a world outside. That's why somebody whose one hole is shut, he can only cognize 4-fold world. If another world is shut of the eyes, he can cognize only 3-fold world, is it not? And therefore, this 5-fold world is cognized, emerging from where? From the subject. Each subject is a divinity manifest. Each subject is the subject that becomes aware of this world of names and forms. How? By this effulgence moving towards the object and enveloping it, and you say, aha, this is a watch. Aha, that is a table. This cognition, the effulgence goes from within you in the world outside, giving that object the name and form, existence. I know, cognition, thought cognition, pot knowledge, cloth knowledge, table knowledge, glasses knowledge, all these knowledge which is thought based, these cognitions emerge from within you. That's why you never really see the world, you only see your thought. You know, when you marry somebody, you know, the funny thing about these love marriages is that the person only was seeing his thought. That is why after marriage, they don't recognize the person outside, you know. poor things. You feel so bad for love marriages that are falling apart. You don't even know what to tell them. I can't tell them, when they come to me for counseling. How can I say, hey, you never really saw that man. You were only seeing your thoughts. How you wanted to see, you saw. And now after marriage, he proves to you that he is not what you thought. He is who he is, not what you thought. Oh well, that's a different samsara to work through. But the fact here, beautiful, he says, Janamiti tameva bhantam. Tameva bhantam, only when you say, I know, I cognize. Only then the pot is cognized. Anubhati sarvam, everything is, you can say, you say, I am, what do you call, I am a monk, I am a married woman. All this cognition of different scripts, different roles, different dynamics is later, but the I am is prior, is it not? The type of I am depends on a thought, depends on the mind, depends on a script, depends on a role, but the fact that I am as an effulgent being is prior to all cognitions. And so he says here, I know, janami, I know, that's I am, I know, is a cognition which is first, bhantam, it is first. Then anubhati saram, afterwards everything else shines. First I shine, after me everything else shines. I am evident, I am, then it is. If I am not, nothing is. I am, then the world is. And so he says here, Ahamasmi sadabhami kadachinnahamavyayaha brahmaivahamata-siddham Satchidananda-lakshanam. So many statements. Aham asmi, I am. Sadabhami, ever effulgent. Aham asmi sadabhami. I am never kadachinnaham ashriya apriyaha. I am never unattractive. I am never unattractive. Look at this. You don't have to be a Miss Universe to be attractive. The self-effulgence, self-evident being itself lends itself to the universe, and the universe is cognized. The universe is drawn to you, experienced by you through this equipment, through the equipment. And therefore, kadachinnaham apriyaha. Hey, who are you? Brahmaivaham. I am the infinite being. Atasiddham. This is what is established. I am the infinite being. Really? What is your nature? Satchidananda-lakshanam. I am Sat, I am Chit, I am Ananda. And this knowledge, where did this knowledge come from? It came from Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri-daksinamurti-Srotram. It has come from that infinite being who is now sitting in a small body, in one body, and that is confined to one experience, one track. But then every life is that same omniscient being alone. And therefore, all that is here is one consciousness, is the message of this verse. And when we move forward, we will see this gives you the insight into what is coming really. This is the message, this is the knowledge, this is the nature of I. And from 5th verse onwards, he will describe what I am not. having streamlined who am I, he will talk about what I am not. And more on this we will see tomorrow. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.